announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Listen up, you blind slapnut.
If I can be serious for a minute.
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.
The real reason I came here tonight is because we are live!
We Flex are NXT.
It's go time, folks!
Sweet! A little bit of the bubbly.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all the ages, we are back for some more wrestling here on the Flex Network. So it must be Thursday, and that means we get to review some wrestling. What's been going on in the wrestling world? You see myself here.
We got a lot to cover this week.
Oh yeah, you see myself here. You know me as well as anybody. It is the SnowMan, and to my left, I have, to my right, I have my main man, one of my buddies in the world, Mr. Anthony, coming back for a second dose of the Flex Network this week. How you been, my man?
Been good. I've been looking forward to this all week because there's a lot of stuff we've got to get covered, especially because we've had a crazy week in wrestling. We had a great show with NXT, great show with AEW. We got a pretty good high-powered SmackDown coming up tomorrow night. We had the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
we are officially on the road to WrestleMania, and then we had Monday Night Raw. And man, there was some stuff on Monday Night Raw that just kind of makes you just go, "What in the hell is going on here?"
Oh, always Royal Rumble season, road to WrestleMania time is always interesting to say the least. And it's always
that's an understatement,
dude. One of the best times, I would say, other than Wrestle Kingdom time for New Japan Pro Wrestling. These two are great times to be a wrestling fan. It's always awesome. But before we talk Rumble and before we get into what's been going on in the world of wrestling, we got news for you guys here on the network. So, if you hadn't heard, Lars Sullivan has been released from his contract with the WWE. He is gone as of Tuesday. He has been released. Didn't really see that much of him on the main roster after some, with some problems, I guess. He had some good moments down at NXT. That freak, just jacked like no other. But he had some good moments down there in NXT. Causing destruction and everything. But main roster was just done. He was there for a cup of coffee, and then he made a quick comeback a little while ago. But
hey, there are some of these guys that do very well under that aren't on the main roster, and then they get up there and they just kind of don't live up to the hype. I wish Lars well. Hope he does very well.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll find. He'll be fine somewhere. I'm sure he'll be fine. Maybe hit AEW, go to Impact, New Japan. There's a lot of open places that he can go to. Other big news: Rey Mysterio has signed a new multi-year deal with WWE, so he's going to be sticking around for the near future on the WWE side of the brand. Thoughts on that one? I actually like that, to see Rey Mysterio still with WWE.
And I think, this is actually a great deal for Rey and WWE because Ray's approaching almost 30 years in the business.
Oh yeah.
Starting with a small stint in ECW, I believe, went over to WCW, came over to WWE right about the invasion.
No, it's after the invasion. He came in 2002. Is after the invasion. When they did the brand split and they had SmackDown, Raw. The brands or the rosters were separate. And from then that point on, Rey Mysterio was a highlight of the cruiserweights and brought legitimacy to the cruiserweight title, at least in the early 2000s, mid 2000s time frame. Won the world title, beating Randy Orton and Kurt Angle in the triple threat match at WrestleMania 22. So he has had a lot of great moments for this company.
He absolutely has. And his tag team championship run with the late great Eddie Guerrero. May he rest in peace. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, tag team title run with Eddie, and even winning the Rumble. Winning the 06 Rumble.
Royal Rumble 2006, lasting over an hour as a number 2 entrant, and winning that one.
Yeah, longest, he lasted an hour, 2 minutes, and 12 seconds. That would be, I would say, the number 1 most time spent in a regular Royal Rumble timeline. But adding in the greatest Royal Rumble timeline, he's knocked down to number 2 on the list, as Daniel Bryan is sitting at top with an hour and 16 minutes and 5 seconds lasting in a Rumble. So take it for what you will. That was a long Rumble.
That was a very long Rumble.
Oh yeah. Other news, coming out is that John Cena, you can't see me. Well, we won't be seeing him this year because he is not going to be at WrestleMania this year. He is up here in Vancouver, Canada, shooting an HBO Max series, The Peacemaker. And given the quarantine regulations, this is his quote, given the quarantine regulations, if I were to leave Canada upon return, I would have to quarantine for another 2 weeks. Eventually, that would shut the production down. Strictly based on the letter of the law right now, there is no logistical way I can be at WrestleMania this year. And they film until July.
Can't blame John for wanting to be safe.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is he's officially a part-timer now, or not on the part-timers side anymore. He's
got more of a Legends contract now, doesn't he?
Yeah, to a point, more or less the Legends, maybe a part-timer to some degree. But it's what happens when you decide to go Hollywood. You've spent almost your entire career in one company, and then Hollywood comes calling and says, "Hey, we think you could do more," and off he goes. But
and I've heard that series that he's that they've been shooting is supposed to be really good. So I can't wait for it to come out so I'm gonna watch it.
Oh yeah, on HBO Max, that should be a good show. And this will be the first WrestleMania that we won't see John Cena since WrestleMania 19. That's been a long time, since 2003. And he was just, on Sunday Night Heat doing, a rap gimmick.
He just did a rap on Sunday Night Heat, on the dark part of WrestleMania 19 there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's from 19 to 36, we've seen John Cena.
In some capacity. If he was at WrestleMania, he was on the show either in a match for a title, or just, an appearance to say, "Hi, I'm back." But Not this year. He ain't going to be seen. Cesaro has asked, is his contract's also going to be coming up soon. After WrestleMania 37, it's set to expire, so he's going to have a big old decision to make if he wants to, what's he going to do after WrestleMania season? Is he going to stay with WWE, or is he going to be testing the waters at maybe AEW, go somewhere else?
Rumors that I have seen is that AEW is going to offer him a massive contract to jump ship.
That would be very interesting, but again, given the fact that AEW right now has a lot of talent, and a lot of those, not mainstay talent, but a lot of them are getting used on AEW Dark, or they're not really getting on TV as much because of COVID and everything, and they just have a lot of talent that may or may not be used. And if he goes there and he signs a big contract, I mean, he'll be joining the likes of Sting, Jericho, I'm trying to think, also, Kenny Omega, the Bucks right now. They have their talent right now is stacked. So and Matt Hardy too. So they are stacked right now. I don't think, at least at this point in time, and the potential for, even more so, the potential for more talent to be coming through to AEW, that could hurt a lot if someone was to sign with them now, or maybe within the next several months, because there's a lot of talent that could be coming through to just invade or even be seen.
I think the brass up there at AEW has got to be wary of that.
Yeah, because they're still a very young company. They're what, 2 years in?
2 years
about to be 2 years in.
They're kind of starting to go down that same road that WCW went, signing all these massive contracts
from WWE,
and it ended up backfiring and imploding on them.
Oh yeah, the old mantra is those who don't learn from
history are doomed to repeat it again.
Yeah.
Thank you,
thank you. And the fact that you have the same, a different company on this same network as WCW was back in the day on TNT, that kind of is like, ooh, we may not want to, repeat some history here. We have Sting now, who's back on TNT in decades, and it's just like, this is starting to, again, they're starting to look like WCW again, to a point.
Cody Rhodes, if anything, if you learned anything from your father, don't make the same mistakes that Bischoff and Ted Turner did.
Bischoff, Ted Turner, Ed Ferrara, Vince Russo.
The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, on and on. And it's like, just down the road right now.
Throw a dart, pick a name.
Yep. And then the last little bit is New Japan Pro Wrestling has confirmed that the IWGP US Heavyweight title will be on the line on February 26th at New Beginning USA. Jon Moxley will be defending his title against the number one contender contract holder in Kenta. That match has finally been made after months and even longer of this setup. It's finally going to happen.
If I could take a quote from good old JR, it's going to be a slobber knocker.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be good. John Moxley's going to defend that U.S. heavyweight title, the IWGP U.S. heavyweight title against Kenta. Finally, we're going to get the match. We've had teasers for it for the last 2 weeks, I would say, but we're going to get the match officially February 26th, New Beginning USA at the LA Dojo. So that is going to be that's going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be a great matchup.
Oh yeah, but that is it for the news portion of this show. So you know what we're gonna get into. So if you have not watched an ounce, an inch, a second of what has been going on the TV or on the networks, well, be wary because it is spoiler alert time. So you know when you hear the woo. Time for some spoilers. Because we're going to be talking about...
Let's begin with this.
We're going to be talking about... You know what? Let's head to SmackDown this past week. The go-home show. Before we got to inch into Sunday. We got to inch into it a little bit. But SmackDown this past week. The go-home show. Again, it was a go-home show, so not really a whole lot of more impact for the Rumble on the show, I would say, other than Braun Strowman returning.
Yeah, Braun Strowman returning. That honestly, you could have made a case for him to be the favorite to win the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back right at the go-home show.
Yeah,
he had a
instantly
good
you
showing
can
in
make
the
them.
Rumble itself.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes from here and how they utilize him going forward, going into Mania.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but we did get Bailey versus Belair. First off, that was a good matchup right there. We finally got to see these two go at it one-on-one.
And their styles complement each other so much between Bianca Belair and Bailey. I think we can have a great rivalry starting here between those two with the likes that we have not seen since Trish Stratus and Lita.
Mm-hmm. I could possibly see that happening. Just gotta get the right formula and right stories between these two to get to that point. But I do see a lot of great and promising things for Bianca Belair right now on SmackDown.
Oh yeah, she is an up-and-coming star, and she is more than ready to take that challenge.
Oh yeah. Throwaway match for me. Dominic versus King Corbin. Before Bianca Belair beat Bailey one-on-one. Before they head into the Rumble. King Corbin taking on Dominic this week. Again, another part. King Corbin for me I've lost interest in him for the longest while. I got nothing.
Interest in him?
Yeah. Maybe eons and eons ago, but I've just lost interest, with everything with King Corbin. He beats Dominic this week.
Yeah, the King Corbin character definitely played out. I think it's time to move on. Write him off of TV for a while with the kayfabe injury. Reimage him, repackage him, and kind of bring him back.
I would probably say maybe after WrestleMania.
That may be a little bit too late, but we'll see. But we're not WWE writers. We're just a couple of knuckleheads.
No, because again, I think it's already been too late. So either you might as well just keep him on till WrestleMania. I mean, the fact is that that the whole King Corbin, spiel. I mean, yeah, he's added some buddies with the King's Court, but it's not helping. At least in my view of King Corbin. if they're going to have a King of the Ring every so often, and just to pass on the King title and add it to someone's name, it's like, okay, you gotta do it every year, guys. You can't just hold off onto it for every 2-3 years. You gotta do it year
exactly.
round.
It's the matter. The King of the Ring was originally designed to figure out who is the best of the best.
Mm-hmm. That's why they had a pay-per-view named after it in the 90s.
Hey, you know what? We had some very classic matches with that, but that could be a whole other show, folks.
Yeah. One-on-one matchup. We had Daniel Bryan taking on AJ Styles. Unfortunately, this one ended in disqualification, and all kinds of chaos broke loose.
All kinds of chaos, or all kinds of hell broke loose.
Yeah, not once, but twice, because we had, after that match, we had Daniel Bryan, Big E, and Shinsuke taking on Cesaro, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles in a 6-man tag. I mean, it was good until it ended. That one ended in disqualification. So now we get more people added to the mix. We get Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, Big E, and Shinsuke, and Otis taking on Miz, Morrison, Shinsuke, Cesaro, and AJ in a 10-man tag.
You gotta love it, dude. Friday nights are unpredictable.
Friday nights is essentially the home of, in Teddy Long's case, it's, we're going to have ourselves a 10-man tag, huh? Holla, holla, holla. We're going to have ourselves a tag team match. The only thing missing was Teddy Long just to come out and say, we're going to have more, we're going to have a tag team match.
Yeah, that's about the only thing we're missing on that one.
Yeah. And then, of course, at the end of that match, we got Braun returning, and just causing chaos and destruction, leading into the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that we do. Honestly, how I think this should go is you got Braun, who's big, jack dude, full power, and then you got Roman Reigns as well, big dude, full of power. Let those two go at it at WrestleMania for the title.
Yeah,
that could be a good match. But we'll see what happens.
Well, technically, the WWE, or what we're hearing is that they know the path. They have the road to WrestleMania, and the main or what's going to happen at WrestleMania. They have that in concrete. So,
of course they do.
They know who's going to be at WrestleMania and who's going to be fighting for what title. That's what we're hearing. So they know the road. We're just going to be sitting back in shotgun and enjoying the show.
And all we can do is just sit here and speculate and watch what unfolds.
Yeah,
because we both know that Vince has threatened every one of those writers within an inch of their life if something gets leaked.
Oh yeah, especially in this age of Twitter, Facebook, and leaks. Oh yeah, that's going to be very hard. But yeah, that was SmackDown for the week. No real big, highlights for me other than Braun returning, but it's SmackDown. I think SmackDown has kind of fallen off a lot, and they really need to get back to a point where they can be, tune in and check out every. But the good thing is that we know what matches, to a point. They promote and everything about with SmackDown of what we're going to get. So it's like, okay, tune in. And for being a 2-hour show, only getting 5 matches, maybe 4 matches. Okay.
I think we need to add another match in there.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman can shut his trap.
take a break. But yeah, for a 2-hour show, you would think get some, have matches, more matches and some good matches, and maybe rotate some people in and out. You have a deep, maybe not a deep talent over on SmackDown, but you still have enough to swap people.
I mean, and I guess it's just a product of from when we were kids, when we first started really getting into wrestling. We're used to like 6-7 matches on Raw, 6-7 matches on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And even the shorter matches just want you leaving like, hey, why did it end so quick? I want to see more. I want to see these two beat the hell out of each other.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I keep saying that about SmackDown and even about Raw, 3-hour show, and we're seeing the same people almost every single week, months on end, or having, in layman's terms, I'll even give a great example. We're seeing Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler taking on Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose for months on end, where it's tag team matches and then one-on-one match, tag team match. It's like, can we get different people? You got more women on the schedule, on the roster to swap in,
If anybody blames this on COVID, you're absolutely wrong. They were doing it before then.
Yeah. But it's like, I know you guys could swap out, you don't have to do, unless you're doing an actual program with these, with the women and doing, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, and it's going to lead to something where one is going to go for the tag titles or something, to it means to an end. But when it's just tag team matches, one-on-one matches that get turned into tag team matches, or they get turned, single match, one every week, and it's like, can we swap them out, please? I get you need time to fill for 3 hours on Raw, but come on.
Look at some of the stars that are down there in NXT.
They're
bringing
killing
some new life from there.
Well, mind you, we are hearing that Rhea Ripley is getting the call up.
She's been needing to get that call up for years.
No, not really. I think it's more. I think this past year was the time after after losing that title.
She's been on a great tear.
Mm-hmm.
I think she could bring a breath of fresh air into the women's division. And
oh yeah.
Honestly, power for power, she could stand toe to toe with Nia Jax. I mean, I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of Nia Jax. She'd flatten me like a bug.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I mean, let's look at this. For at least on the Raw, actually, we'll talk about the Raw side in a little bit, because we're gonna go right into the Royal Rumble pay-per-view this past week. It was so unbelievably crazy. It was so awesome. An event, the Road to WrestleMania, to kick off this 3-month journey that we're going to be rolling down. Is going to be, the Rumble's always fun. But we know that to kick off the show, we had Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler challenging Asuka and Charlotte Flair for the women's tag team titles. And that was a good match. I will give that a good match.
Yeah, that was a good match. It kept you, it definitely kept you entertained. It kept you in it. It had great spots on momentum shifts.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe they need to try to do something different with Lacey Evans and Ric Flair. That's kind of starting to become predictable there.
Yeah, I mean, to a point. Now you just cost, obviously, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler pick up the win over Asuka and Charlotte. And thanks to Lacey, loaded women's right. Thanks to Flair handing Lacey, something. It wasn't look like brass knucks. It was more like, maybe a roll of quarters just loaded, and knocked Charlotte out.
Oh, well, the Nature Boy's the dirtiest player in the game.
Uh-huh.
It's been that way for like 50 years.
Oh yeah. And I am actually I'm still a little interested. I'm still interested in this program with Charlotte, Rick, and Lacey. Don't get me wrong. I'm interested just to see where this is going to pay off at. I mean,
and I'm right there with you. And I think why they had Charlotte and Asuka drop the titles to Jackson and Baszler is so that they can open this up right at the Royal Rumble, Road to WrestleMania, kind of like the new sexy rivalry that's going to happen. And I think personally, I think it's going to culminate in a match at WrestleMania between Charlotte Flair and Lacey Evans.
Well, don't forget, we still have 2 more stops on this road to WrestleMania. We still have the Chamber, and we still have Fastlane to get through.
That we do.
So maybe I wouldn't see maybe a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. I don't think they can hold the program for that long. But maybe a match at either Chamber or at Fastlane. I mean, we still got a ways to go from now till April.
All right, I can see your point on this one, on whether we get a match at Chamber or Fastlane. I think Chamber actually may, if they decide to go this direction with the writers, maybe a little bit too soon to wrap up that program. I think Fastlane is more doable.
Yeah, because remember, WrestleMania is a 2-night event. I mean, they're going April 10th and 11th, and we're February 4th right now. So we still got, again, 2 months to get through. We still got Fastlane, Chamber, and I would put my money maybe something at at maybe Chamber, just to get them in the ring one-on-one, hopefully with no interference and anything, probably interference from Nature Boy, and then maybe blow it off at Fastlane for something for Lacey to go do at WrestleMania, or Charlotte to go do something at WrestleMania.
All right. Yeah, very understandable. All right. So now that we've got all that covered on that one,
yeah,
let's get into the first matchup of the evening here. Goldberg, Drew McIntyre.
WWE title on the line.
That match could have been great.
Could have.
It started off awesome. It had the fireworks going. You had Goldberg spearing McIntyre right through the barricade, and you were just thinking, yes. This is going to be a brawl, and it's going to be an amazing matchup. After the barricade spot, to me, it fell flat on its face.
Well, you got to think and remember, Goldberg matches don't go that long.
No, and
nowadays,
in this match, Goldberg did not look good at all. He looked very slow. And I understand that the man's been wrestling since like the early mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and Drew McIntyre's in his mid-30s.
Mm-hmm.
But Goldberg has a certain expectation of his matches that he expects of himself. And you can tell he didn't live up to his own expectations.
I don't think so. I think that he gave the outright look to Drew McIntyre that I'm going fast. I'm not going to I'm going to have a fast match. I'm going to try to end you fast. Spear, jackhammer, and granted that the jackhammer that he hit was more like a delayed suplex because he didn't get the hook and everything. So I wouldn't call that a jackhammer.
No, he didn't get the hook. That would it didn't. It wasn't clean.
No, but
I'm not sure exactly what happened with that one, but it looked like they could have gone a lot worse than how it did, where both of them could have ended up being seriously injured because of that. But I'm just glad that it went on the better side of that.
Yeah, it could have ended much worse on that suplex. Trying to be a jackhammer, but for a 2-minute 30-second match, it was okay. It could have been a lot better, but it's a Goldberg match.
It left you wanting more.
Yes, it left you wanting more. We got Spear, jackhammer. We just didn't get the win for Goldberg because Drew McIntyre retains the title. He is heading down the road to WrestleMania as your WWE champion right now. And then we go into the SmackDown Women's title match. Sasha Banks, Carmella, 1-on-1.
This match surprised me a lot, actually. Like, we know what Sasha Banks, we know what the boss is going to bring to the table each and every week. What surprised me is the amount of work and drive that Carmella has been putting in lately. One, to earn that title opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Since returning.
And yes, since returning. And you know what? And she took Sasha Banks to the limit on that one. It was a great matchup. It was wonderfully done, back and forth. Had some really good spots. And, Sasha Banks picks up the victory to retain.
Yeah.
I don't think this is done yet.
I actually do think this might be done. Bar none. This is the second opportunity that Carmella's had. And she's had 2 opportunities to take the title from Sasha. And Carmella I would say in both matches, Carmella had Sasha's number both times until she started getting cocky. And she was starting to brag more and look at me now, I'm beating the boss, and has the attitude and the feel of I'm going to beat her. This is too easy. But she let Sasha
beat you every time.
Yeah, she let Sasha get back into the fight, and you don't do that. If you have her, beaten and everything, you keep beating. You keep beating her down until she's done. You don't let up. And unfortunately, Carmella was cocky and arrogant, and she lost. Plain and simple.
She had her boots on Sasha on the boss's throat,
and she let it off.
And she let off. She let off that accelerator.
Mm-hmm.
She let off the accelerator. She popped those air brakes and just brought that whole truck down to a dead stop. And that's what I think what did her in on that one.
Yeah, and being a former SmackDown Women's Champion, you would think she knows how to defend the title. She knows what it takes. She has to do to defend the title and keep the title. So why would she not want to use that same mantra to get the title? Because you got to think when she won the SmackDown Women's title the first time around, she had to cash in Money in the Bank on Charlotte, thanks to the Iconics, beating her up and then just coming in one good stiff kick and she's champ. But now it's like different Carmella, and it's like she's more cocky and she's more arrogant to where she's more focused on champagne and looking good rather than trying to get that title and have it, not only trying to get the title, but
you can do both. You just got to have that balance there.
Yeah. So, but the match itself was awesome. I liked it. It was a good 10-minute match.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a great match.
And of course, I'm interested to see what they're going to do for the SmackDown Women's title. What is going to happen at the Chamber? Because last several years we've had the women's tag team matchups or the tag titles on the line in the Chamber. We've had the women's title on the line in the Chamber. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do for the women more than the guys right now.
Oh yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I can't wait to see how the writers are going to play this. Leading up into the Chamber here in what, a couple 3 weeks.
I want to say that, but let me just double check on my end. Elimination Chamber 21. Chamber is going to be, oh wow, this month, February 21st. 21st.
Oh, 21st. Okay, so 2 weeks from Sunday.
Yeah, quick turnaround. I mean, again, it's actually, I would think it'd be a quick turnaround from the Rumble.
And the Chamber. I mean,
Fastlane.
And then we got Fastlane coming up. This is like the crazy time of year with WWE, the NFL, and NASCAR. All have kind of like some of our really
hockey.
big Sundays, and hockey. All have some of our really big Sundays where we've got like the NHL All-Star Game that's usually supposed to happen. We got the Royal Rumble. We got Super Bowl Sunday. We got the Daytona 500 coming.
Yeah.
So it's a juggling effect because for the ratings and the TV time that they're going to have and everything else.
Yeah. But now let's get into the first of two Royal Rumbles as we tackle the women's side of the Royal Rumble equation. This was, I would say, the best women's Royal Rumble, bar none. Outside of last year's, actually, was it last year's? No, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I think.
With Becky Lynch winning the women's Royal Rumble. But this year's was great. Beyond believable. It was awesome to watch. First two superstars entered. I mean, we already knew who number 30 was going to be from backstage. Natalya got the 30th spot, so she knew she could rest easily, knowing she didn't have to, get in early, or she could just wait. But we know that Bayley and Naomi were the first two entrants into the Women's Royal Rumble. And then Bianca
got a lot of heart.
Oh, yeah, those two had a lot of heart. Bianca Belair, number 3. This was, she put on a clinic. Bar none.
Oh, absolutely, she did. That old saying, give them an inch and they'll take a mile.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what Bianca Belair did.
Oh, yeah. 4 eliminations under her belt.
Who you were.
Yeah,
in that ring.
She had 4 eliminations in that match. So, and she knew how to survive, obviously, because she won the Rumble from the number 3 spot.
Right. It came down to her and I want to say Rhea Ripley, right?
Yep. Rhea was
Ruby
the last. No, it was Rhea.
No. Yeah, Ripley. Hey, it came down to that, and they're both hanging there precariously on the ropes, and they're both just talking to each other. Just, all right, be cool.
Reset.
Be cool.
Yeah. Reset.
Let's just go back into the ring, and then we can duke it out.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious, and that was
great.
Was
smart. It's like it was like, okay, wait a minute. Why would we? Let's take a breather. We're here on the edge.
Cool.
We don't need to do something stupid that's going to cost us both and know that we're going to, hate ourselves. Let's slide back into the ring. Let's wait.
Go from there, and then we'll get back to a vertical base, and then we'll figure out who's the best on this one.
Yeah. Billie Kay comes in at number 4. She actually did pretty good. Lasting 8 minutes into the match. got one elimination. And then our first
Sat there ringside a lot of quite a bit.
True, yeah, she did, trying to, hand out her little
Her headshot and her resume
headshot resume. Like, you want to team up? You and me? Till
and of all people, to take the bait on this, Jillian Hall.
Oh God. That first chorus of "You Know You Want Me." Oh my God.
Dude, I think my ears are bleeding. Oh no, I think the text was, dude, I think my eardrums just exploded.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was it. That was one of the funniest parts
for the last week because of this, and hearing that again for the first time in like 15 years.
It was still a hoot just to watch these two tag team. And then this was actually a great sign to see. We actually got to see the NXT women in the Rumble this year. Granted, we were, we all thought that we were going to get
Dakota Kai
NXT,
had a great showing
at Survivor Series, but this time around, granted it was the Royal Rumble, but it was actually nice to see the NXT women on the main roster show, on the big pay-per-view.
Yeah, and Shotzi Blackheart coming down in a freaking tank,
and then launching the Nerf little missile at Billy Kay. It's like, nope.
Like when that thing fired off, I'm like, what the? You know what? That thing actually fires?
Oh yeah. She got it fixed up. She got it fixed up after it got destroyed before War Games. And she got it fixed up for War Games. So that was, a hoot and a half. It was fun.
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely great.
So, yeah, we had Shotzi Blackheart, number 5. Shayna Baszler. Talk about destruction right there. She came in at number 6. She had 6 eliminations in the Rumble. She lasted 41 minutes and 46 seconds. She had damn good.
A really good showing there.
Oh yeah. Then we had our second NXT superstar with Toni Storm coming in at number 7. Jillian Hall coming in at 8. Ruby Riott coming in at 9. And then one of the other big surprises of the night, we had Victoria make an appearance at number 10 in the Rumble.
Victoria coming back at number 10 in the Rumble there. That was just that was a good moment for
nice
Victoria.
Surprise.
We haven't seen her in many years.
Oh yeah. And then at number 11, we had Peyton Royce. And to have Billy Kay, Jillian Hall, and Peyton Royce in the same ring at the same time, where along with Ruby Riott, and then eventually Liv Morgan, it's like you're trying to. Billy Kay's had the literally like the worst timing of her former or current friends just showing up in the ring, and it's like we're getting these like iconic moments. And it's like, oh no, Ruby Riott's there. I'm like, oh no, I'm with Riot Squad. I'm like, pick a team. Pick a team. Or it's like when Jillian was trying to eliminate one of her buddies. It was like, no, hell, she's my friend. It's like, pick a team and stick with them. Pick the colors and wear them. You cannot wear the Jillian Hall and Billy Kay tag team for 30 seconds and then switch to Iconic and then switch to Riot Squad. It gets confusing.
No kidding.
Number 12, we had our third NXT superstar, Santana Garlic. I want to say.
I think so.
I butcher names. That's my gimmick.
We know this.
Liv Morgan at 13. Rhea Ripley coming in at number 14, lasting under 40 minutes at 39:06. And she had
When I
the
saw
most.
Rhea Ripley come in, she was my pick to win that thing.
Oh yeah, hands down, she was mine. She had 7 eliminations in this Rumble, most in the Rumble for this year for the women. Then we had Charlotte at 15, Dana Brooke at 16, Tori Wilson making an appearance at 17. The
You
Hall of
enjoyed every
Famer.
freaking minute of that.
A little bit. Lacey Evans at 18, Mickey James at 19, Nikki Cross coming in at 20, Alicia Fox at 21. That one was the more.
That's yours.
That one was the more fun time because you had after that you had R-Truth just running down and thinking that it's the men's Royal Rumble. Gets on the apron, it's like, no, wrong Rumble. It's like, my bad, wrong Rumble, my bad. And gets caught up with everyone chasing him for the 24/7 title.
And gets pinned by
Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox to become the new 24/7 champion.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then she loses it after she gets tossed out of the ring. R-Truth pins her.
I was dying of laughter, dude.
And then he hightails it out of there with everyone in tow for the 24/7 title. 22 was Mandy Rose. Our fifth NXT superstar, Dakota Kai, coming in at 23. Carmella at 24. Tamina at 25. Lana at 26. Alexa Bliss, 27. And you know what? I legitimately thought we were going to get the transformation when Bliss got in there, but everyone was in that at that current time in there is like, okay, if she transforms, we're all screwed. So we need to toss her now. And they got her out. She lasted 62 seconds.
When we get to Monday Night Raw, we got some stuff to talk about with that woman.
Oh, yeah. And then we had Ember Moon at 28, Nia Jax at 29, and then Natalya at 30. The Women's Rumble was awesome. Let's just emphasize that. That was awesome. We only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had 9 women who went above 20 minutes or was in double digits for time. Everyone else was like 3, 4, 5, 2 minutes, a minute in the Rumble. We only had
some really good showings in the Women's Royal Rumble. On Sunday night.
Bianca lasted almost 56 minutes and 52 seconds to win the Rumble. The next highest was Naomi at 47 minutes. Behind her was Shayna Baszler at 41-46. So a lot of women.
I think Bayley was right there, pretty close behind all that.
No, she was. I would say probably second to last in the double digit times. She only lasted almost a half hour. She lasted 29:08 in the Rumble. We had Charlotte last 33 minutes. Rhea Ripley 39 minutes. Bayley was 29:08. So yeah, there was a good showing from a lot of these women that they can go. But damn, that was a great Royal Rumble. We'll quickly go through last man standing match. That was awesome. Brutal.
That was an amazing match, dude. Brutal.
Crazy.
It doesn't cut it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Golf carts, jumping off of forklifts, through tables. I legitimately
people to
thought,
structures.
yeah, unfortunately, we kind of figured that there was some fishiness. Well, we had a botch opportunity with Paul Heyman screwing up the timing with
that
Roman.
Second referee that came in there got to the 6 count and stopped counting.
Yeah, it's more like, can we continue the count, please? Can we continue the count, please? We're at 7, 8, 9, and then 10. That should have been
like there was a good 2 or 3 minutes that Roman was down. Owen should have had that title.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Roman
I honestly think
retains.
that this one it might be a little bit far from over. I think this one may culminate at Chamber.
Yeah.
Or Fastlane. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And then we go right into the men's Royal Rumble. The first 2 entrants into the Royal Rumble, Edge and Randy Orton. They lasted the entire Rumble, guys. Well, more or less.
Okay,
if your name is Edge. If you're Edge. Orton, technically, he was still in the Rumble. Technically, he was. He just decided, hey, I got injured. Hey, let's go to the back for a little bit. For a while.
See, at that point, you kind of just started getting this inkling of a feeling there that Orton was going to come back at some point.
Yeah. I had that feeling from the word go. It's like, okay, if you're keeping the cameras on Orton, then it's like, okay, he's coming back. Guaranteed. He's coming back at some point.
We've seen it happen, a few different times.
Yeah. Big surprises for us. Carlito making a return to WWE at number 8.
Man, doesn't he look good? He looks really good for not being in the ring for almost a decade in a WWE ring.
Yeah. He looked great. And he brought the apple with him. Because he does spin the face of people who don't want to be cool. And
now, I think the biggest surprise that I had there, as you're going into the NXT guys, how about that?
Damian Priest.
Biggest surprise in the Rumble for me.
Yeah, at number 14, got eliminated by Bobby Lashley.
But he also took out Miz and Morrison.
Thanks to help from Bad Bunny. And here's the thing: a lot of shade's been thrown at Bad Bunny.
That crossbody from Bad Bunny?
That was entertainment.
I thought that was great.
But there's been a lot of shade thrown at Bad Bunny and WWE. It's like, why you guys throwing the shade out? It's like, yes, probably, for the performance of Booker T at the Rumble, but so what? He's a performer. He's a musician. Yeah, I may never have heard of him before, the Royal Rumble. I haven't heard of any of his music, but it's like, so what? I mean, who cares? Just move on. And then we had Kane enter at 18, Hurricane Helms at 23, Christian at 24, and Christian had a dang good showing, lasting almost 20 minutes. Lasting 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes.
That smile on Edge's face.
And then the only other big, of course, Seth Rollins making his return at 29 in the Rumble. That was a real surprise.
Now that one. This is going to be interesting to see how they're going to use Rollins, because I know when he left TV, everybody hated him. And you gotta understand. You gotta remember. He was getting close to due date for Baby, so they had to write him off. That he was.
So but now
I understand him taking the time off to be at home with his family and everything like that. And congratulations to Seth and Becky on the birth of their child.
Yeah. But man,
but it'll be interesting to see him come back and see how they use him
on SmackDown right now.
Because I mean, here on SmackDown, we really don't have like we don't have like the top face really
No, because it's
to
it's
go at
dominant.
it every week.
Yeah. Because it's pretty much just
Seth
open.
can
Like,
fill that position. They can fill that position very well.
oh yeah, very well. That was the Royal Rumble. Edge wins it, lasting an hour and 32 seconds. 1 hour and 32 seconds in the Rumble from pillar to post. He joins the elite list of two-time winners of the Royal Rumble, joining Hogan, joining HBK, John Cena, Batista, Triple H, Randy Orton in repeat Royal Rumble victories. Two-time Royal Rumble victories. The only other
Royal
person
Rumble victories, and the third man to win it from the number 1 spot.
Yep. Joining Shawn Michaels, joining Chris Benoit, and along with himself. Yeah. And unfortunately for Randy Orton, he joins a very bad list of, well, it may be a little bad if you're depending on who's at the top. Most times being a Royal Rumble runner-up. He joins the list of being a two-timer with the Big Show, HBK, Cena, Hunter, and himself. And the man at the top, unfortunately, is the Tribal Chief at 4 times.
Yeah, the men's Royal Rumble. Okay. As soon as Edge entered, we all knew he was the sentimental favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the neck injury that he had that forced him to retire. His
Coming
comeback
back.
last year's Royal Rumble, that Legion of Doom pop.
Oh, he had a bigger Legion of Doom pop, unfortunately. He had bigger.
Any wrestling fan will know Legion of Doom. May they both now rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
When that music hit for them, that pop that they got, that set the standard for any superstar wanting to get that pop.
Oh, yeah.
Triple H got it at when he came back from the butt surgery.
Yep, the first time around.
In 02. John Cena got it at the Royal Rumble in 2008 at Madison Square Garden, entering at number 30.
Mm-hmm.
Edge got it last year, entering the Royal Rumble. Nobody knew.
Zero. I mean, zero fans knew. There was nothing.
Corey Graves to go with his trademark, like, big moment. Holy shit.
No, this one, last year's Edge moment, this is a John Bradshaw Layfield moment. Someone called the state, the sheriff's department because he just stole the show.
He did steal that show.
Oh, yeah.
He really
stole
did.
the moment. He stole the entire Rumble last year. But
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Edge stole the Rumble.
All right, but that was this year's Royal Rumble. So we know that WrestleMania is going to be headlined by Edge. He will have a world title match between either the Universal Champion, the WWE Champion, or he might even bring up the old NXT Championship to the main event. That should be interesting. And then, of course, Bianca Belair.
See how this goes and where his decision goes.
And then, of course, Bianca Belair is going to put the EST in WrestleMania because she is going to get a women's title match with either the SmackDown, the Raw, or the NXT title. And she has plenty of time to choose. Actually, they both have plenty of time to choose who they're going to face at WrestleMania 37. Let's get into Raw, and then we'll go down to NXT, and then end off with AEW Beach Break this past Wednesday. Raw this week, we had Matt Riddle taking on
Raw, that opening segment.
Oh yeah.
But let's get into the matches real quick here before we get into that opening segment there between Edge and McIntyre.
Oh yeah. Matt Riddle taking on Lashley for the U.S. title. Unfortunately for Matt Riddle, he won the match, but he doesn't get the title. He won via disqualification over Bobby Lashley. Xavier Woods taking on Mustafa Ali in one-on-one action. Xavier Woods picks up the victory over Mustafa Ali. Damian Priest making his Raw debut, beating The Miz in one-on-one action. The Hurt Business defending the Raw Tag Team titles against Lucha House Party. They retain the tag titles. And then in a triple threat women's tag team match, we had the teams of Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, the former champions Asuka and Charlotte, and Naomi and Lana making her Raw return in a triple threat tag team match to determine number one contenders for the women's tag team titles.
And picking up that victory.
Lana and Naomi are your number one contenders for the women's tag team titles. That's a SnowMan favorite right there, for what Lana's been going through for months.
This could bring a new breath of life into the women's tag team division. The new team that's there with Lana and Naomi.
Mm-hmm. And this could possibly even give new life to Lana.
It really could. Because last time we saw Lana, she was getting put through the announce table 10 weeks in a row, something like that.
Nine. Unfortunately, 9 straight weeks.
I realize that those tables are meant to give way when that spot's supposed to happen. But that shit's still gonna hurt.
It still hurts. We had tag team action as Carlito makes his Raw return and Jeff Hardy taking on Elias and Jackson Ryder. Carlito and Jeff Hardy pick up the victory. And then another crazy moment because we had Alexa Bliss taking on Nikki Cross again.
Dude. What's up with your girl there, buddy?
I don't know what.
Because anybody who knows SnowMan here, it's no secret he's got the biggest crush ever on Alexa Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is buying a ticket for the Crazy Train. No, she straight started driving that thing, derailed it, and drove it off a cliff.
No. Let's be honest here. The Fiend has been driving the train. Alexa Bliss has just been driving whatever's left of the tracks, train on the tracks.
No, I think she took that spot over from the Fiend.
Yeah, you got a point there, but what happens? That's
there
what's
is
going to happen when
crazy, and then there's just bad shit crazy.
I'm sorry. I know. I don't need to be in this house right now. I don't need the craziness. If you're watching or listening watching on YouTube or Facebook, I just got instantly teleported to the fun house. I swear I'm not saying anything bad here, Fiend. I don't need to be.
Say hi to Ramblin' Rabbit for me.
Hey, Ramblin'. Is the exit okay for me to get out here quick before those two get back here and I don't need to be crazy?
No, don't hit that exit, dude. That's to another dimension of crazy.
Yeah, just ask John Cena.
Which, I think Alexa Bliss has kicked that door down.
Yeah, and set that thing to be booby trapped. But okay, let's get out of the funhouse. Funhouse out. Oh, thank you. I'm out. Okay, I don't need to go back to the funhouse. That's craziness.
Don't get me wrong. It is entertaining. With the Alexa Bliss Fiend Bray Wyatt alliance that they've got going there.
But
and it makes you just keep wanting to watch every week and just kind of just ask, and everything that goes on, it just makes you go, what in the hell just happened?
it's like a train wreck. You know it's going to be devastating. You know it's going to be chaotic and destruction. And you
can't look away.
No, you don't want to look away. You want to be sitting there with a bowl of popcorn and be like, this is going to be fun to watch.
And cold beer.
And cold beer, and hope that it's not spiked with hard liquor, because then you'll be like, okay, I need to get off this drink. It's making me crazy right now. And making me seeing things. Because obviously we're seeing with Alexa going through, transformations galore, going from this happy-go-lucky, I want to have play, let's play, to go bring back the old Alexa at times, be like, oh, please, keep her here. Keep that Alexa here. We don't need crazy Alexa right now. And then transforms back to crazy Alexa, which transforms into I want to kill Fiend-controlled Alexa.
Yeah.
Again, train wreck, but you want to watch.
You can't help but watch.
You can't help but watch. And I've said this for the past several weeks, that somehow I think, and I feel like it's somewhere, maybe just overthinking this, but I feel like while watching Alexa Bliss, being under the control of the Fiend, that it's kind of like the Supernatural one episode, where you got the demon who is controlling you, and then in the back of the subconscious, who's actually probably front and center watching everything, you have the actual person watching all this and be like, get me the hell out of here.
Yes. I know that episode quite well. The Supernatural there, the Sam and Dean.
Yes. And it's like once that demon is gone, and
we watch the show quite a bit, so yeah, it's
here comes the real Alexa to be let out for a little bit, and then, oh no, pull back in. So that's what I feel like with Alexa being under this control with the Fiend. It's like she's there, but she's not in control.
That level of crazy, Sam and Dean Winchester wouldn't touch it.
Oh, Dean would have touched it with a 50-foot pole. He'd be going in head first.
So. I think that's too much crazy for him.
Really? They killed pretty much. They faced God. I think they would have done that without batting an eyelash.
I don't know.
But yeah,
moving
on from the craziness of that, Edge taking on Randy Orton for what apparently being billed as the final time.
I think they're a little premature on that billing.
I doubt that. But Edge taking on Randy Orton one-on-one. Edge picking up the victory thanks to distraction from Crazy Bliss again. with black blood coming out of her mouth. And getting the spear from a rated R superstar.
Yeah.
But of course we know that Drew McIntyre getting the bro kick from Sheamus at the beginning of the show while talking to Edge.
Let's get into this a little bit here. That's that promo where you got Edge coming out talking with McIntyre. At that point, you could see where maybe Edge is going to face McIntyre at WrestleMania for the title.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes Sheamus throwing a monkey wrench into everything.
Well, I'm feeling that this is going to be more of a monkey wrench for the next 2 months to set up whatever is going to happen at WrestleMania, because you got to think, Drew just got done with Goldberg. He's got his card open for the next 2 months, at least the next 2 months.
Does. And Honestly, I think
Or
Edge.
sorry, let me rephrase that. Month and a half.
I honestly I think Edge probably goes after Reigns for WrestleMania. One of the top guys of the previous generation going up against the top guy of this generation.
Uh-huh.
Kind of just like the proverbial passing of the torch and everything like that. I think that could be a very well-built matchup for that. And Sheamus gets an opportunity at Drew McIntyre.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
You can see that happening. But I don't think the writers are going to go for that.
Well, like we said, we're not the ones making the decisions here. But
no, we're just knuckleheads who talk about this all the time.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that is Raw for the past week. Let's head into NXT, run down what went down quickly. In a semifinal match in the women's tag team Dusty Rhodes tag team tournament, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez taking on Kaden Carter and Casey Catanzaro. That was an awesome tag team matchup right there. As Dakota and Raquel move on to the finals, which is going to take place at TakeOver Vengeance Day on Valentine's Day. And they're going to wait for their opponents next week, I believe. Memories. Yeah, next week we'll find out who.
Semifinal match.
The Way of Candice LeRae and Indy
TakeOver.
Yeah, next week we'll find out. It'll be The Way taking on Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart to determine the who's going to the finals to take on Dakota and Raquel at TakeOver. Austin Theory taking on Leon Ruff in one-on-one action. Austin Theory picks up the victory. In a semifinal. In a quarterfinal matchup to determine who's going to move on to the semifinals. Legado del Fantasma beats Lucha House Party in the men's side of the bracket. They move on to take on MSK in the semifinals for next week. Or starting next week. The semifinals start next week. In a cruiserweight title match, the current I'm still calling him the interim cruiserweight champion, Santos Escobar defeating Kurt Stallion in one-on-one action. And then in the final quarterfinal matchup, we had Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa taking on Undisputed Era in a quarterfinal matchup in the tag team tournament. And shockingly, Thatcher and Ciampa pick up the victory over the Undisputed Era, moving on to the semifinals to take on Grizzled Young Vets in the semifinals. Your final four, Ciampa and Thatcher versus the Grizzled Young Vets, and then MSK taking on Legado del Fantasma. Finals are at TakeOver Vengeance Day. Thoughts on that?
It's going to be a great matchups for all of that. Tommaso Ciampa and I'm sorry, who was the other guy on that one?
Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher.
Thatcher, yeah. Picking up that upset victory over Undisputed Era. I think that gives them a lot of momentum, and actually, I think right now they're the favorites to win it all.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because Undisputed Era, they're a good team and everything like that. But, I think it was about time for them to get upset and kind of knock down a couple of pegs, just to kind of,
New
show
blood.
that hey, you guys are not invincible here.
Yeah. We do know some more of the card for Vengeance Day on February 14th. We know we're going to get a triple threat match for the women's title. Io Shirai taking on Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. The NXT title's on the line. Finn Balor taking on Pete Dunne. And then, of course, The North American titles on the line. Johnny Gargano's defending against Kushida. And then, of course, the finals of the men's and women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is going to happen at Vengeance Day.
It is setting up to be a great takeover, like always, for Vengeance Day next week on Valentine's Day of all days.
I feel like they missed the opportunity to have a St. Valentine's Day massacre.
You know, they did. They missed the opportunity on that one.
Oh yeah.
But again, we're not the writers. We're not the guys making the decisions on this. We're just a couple of knuckleheads who, have watched wrestling ever since we could remember and have argued about have discussed wrestling more times than we care to count, even not on live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and all those other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's quickly head over to AEW, and then we'll close out the show. It was AEW's Beach Break this week. Jericho and MJF picking up and becoming the #1 contenders for the tag team titles in the tag team battle royal. Thoughts on that one? I mean, I've been liking the Jericho and MJF tag team, but unfortunately, it's kind of putting a strain on the inner circle.
Honestly, any tag team that's got Chris Jericho in it, with what he's done in his career and the different tag teams that he's been a part of, favors to win any tag team championship match.
Oh yeah,
he knows what it takes to get it done.
Mm-hmm. He did it with The Rock. He did it with Chris Benoit.
Yeah, The Rock, Chris Benoit. Oh no, taboo name.
Benoit.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he teamed up with Christian for a while too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they won the World Tag Team titles. Edge. Yep, and Big Show.
And Big Show, and they won the tag team titles then too. Jericho. Like any tag team that Jericho's been a part of, he has held the tag team title gold. Mm-hmm. He knows what it takes to get it done.
Yeah, he does.
And so you got the younger guy that's paired up with him. Oh man, what a excellent talent and individual to learn from in this.
Oh yeah, and again, with these two tag teaming and being the tag team representatives for the inner circle, I feel like they're misusing right now Santana Ortiz, and it's just causing a rift since MJF joined the inner circle.
Well, it's like every great faction in wrestling history, whether it be, all the way back like NWA, WCCW, WWF. Oh, I know, another taboo name. Oh, don't sue me, World Wildlife Foundation.
Who cares?
And, which is now WWE, WCW, ECW.
TNA.
TNA. All of these great factions when this list can go on and on. Four Horsemen, DX,
Evolution, NWO.
The Shield.
Mm-hmm.
One of our more recent ones here. There's always there's just a point where you just gotta kind of break it up and kind of move it on. And kind of just have it go in a different direction to keep stuff fresh and entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like when DX broke up, that pissed a lot of people off.
Because there was a lot of money left on the table for them.
Yeah, absolutely, there was a lot of money left on that table there. But look at the rivalry, a couple of the rivalries that spawned. Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that rivalry. The Shield, when Dean Ambrose. Oh no, Seth Rollins turned on them.
You're thinking, yeah, Seth first.
Oh, buddy. Oh, that had people salivating at that one. I mean, yeah, it pissed a lot of people off. I was pissed off at that one because, I enjoyed the Shield. I really did. But the rivalry that created between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and then Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, it turned it out really well. They'd had their run. They were, set with that. So, I think the tide is turning for the Inner Circle here. And it's not going to surprise me to see them go their separate ways and maybe see some new rivalries come out of this.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. They still are looking strong at least, but I feel like they're creating their own inner rift right now with MJF joining the fold. Britt Baker taking on Thunder Rosa in one-on-one action. Britt Baker beats Thunder Rosa, the former NWA Women's Champion. Hangman Page and Matt Hardy taking on Chaos Project in tag team action. Page and Hardy pick up the victory. Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston in a lumberjack match. This was a fun and brutal matchup right there between these two big hosses.
When you got power on power, oh man, it's going to be a good one because it's just a matter of who is going, like, how much punishment can you withstand?
Oh yeah, especially in a lumberjack match, it's always brutal. And then main event, a 6-man tag with the current reigning and defending not really defending this time around. The current AEW heavyweight champion of the world, Kenny Omega, and the Impact World Tag Team Champions in the Good Brothers taking on Mox, Pac, and Phoenix in 6-man tag team action. This was a damn good match.
That's asking for chaos.
Oh yeah. And again, with having this relationship with Impact and AEW right now, I think it's been working great.
Personally, I think it's a smart business decision because either one of these two companies standing on their own has no shot at competing with WWE. Because both of them standing on their own, they're going to fall flat on their face, like WCW ended up doing in the late 90s after at the tail end of the Monday Night Wars.
And ECW.
These two joining together,
more like a shared.
I don't think they're going to still be able to really compete with WWE, but
they're
going to make it interesting.
Oh yeah. And even more so, I mean, the fact that like a lot of the AEW talent can go and do New Japan. So you got essentially a 3-way share right here of Impact wrestlers who do New Japan, who are also going to AEW. AEW going to Impact and New Japan. And I think that's, very beneficial for all parties in general. Especially when you got after the match, after Omega and the Good Brothers pick up the victory, Mox gets attacked gets attacked from behind from his opponent coming up in February, later this month at February 26th for the IWGP US Heavyweight title in Kenta. So this has opened up a lot of doors here, especially with New Japan and AEW and Impact and AEW. So this is helping a lot. It's given the fans a lot of great moments and great ideas and fantasy matches that could come up in the future. So this is going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really good. I can't wait to see how this all plays out.
Okay. But all right, guys. I think that is going to be it for us. I think we've officially tapped out of everything in wrestling for the week. You tapped out, man?
Yeah, I'm pretty well tapped out on this one for this week. So, hey, once again, I want to give a special thanks to the Flex Network for inviting me on here twice this week to come and hang out and just kind of BS about football and now wrestling and everything like that. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's do a little house clean before we peace out of here for the week. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share us with everyone. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. This is just causing me to. I need to take a drink and breathe. That's all, folks. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter.
Facebook, YouTube.
We're on YouTube. Like and subscribe
Twitter,
and share us with everyone.
The Flex Network 1.
I got this. I got it, AJ. You can follow us on Twitter at the Flex Network 1. You can follow us on the wrestling side of the world at the FlexNet_PW Elite. And then, of course, our new channel, the MMA Combat channel, where we're talking about MMA, UFC, everything you want to know with MMA. You can follow us at MMA Evergreen. Be sure to like and subscribe to everything, even our YouTube pages, the Flex Network on YouTube and Flex Network Wrestling. I will be back next week to close out the 2020 NFL season with Cowboy Cam and Flex Mike next week. Talk about what went down at Super Bowl 55. And then, of course, I'll be back here again next Thursday to talk more wrestling with you guys as we are on the road to WrestleMania. Back to Tampa Bay. But that's it. That's going to be it for us, you guys. Thank you again, Anthony, for joining me this week.
Anytime.
For Anthony and myself, I am the SnowMan, and we will see you guys down the road. Peace out,
guys.
This has been the Pro Wrestling Weekend Review Show.
You got some fellow Canadians.
But when you're from Calgary,
Where's that?
Alberta, Canada,
A one-way first-class ticket to Larryland.
What is it with you folks coming to Florida? Stay in your own country. This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody. Right here.
why me? Why me? Why me? Don't blame Canada. Blame yourself.
Feels like showtime every minute to me. I can't help it.
No. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Ta-ta for now.
We're out of time. Good night on Nitro.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Well, you're welcome, Jurassic Slap Ass.